بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها على جميع نعمه كلها والصلاة والسلام على عبده المرتضى ورسوله المجتبى وحبيبه المصطفى الذي سماه في السماوات أحمدا وفي الأرض أبا القاسم محمدا وعلى الأطيبين من آله البررة سيما حجة الله الباقية أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم وفرقانه المجيد وقرآنه العظيم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا أنصار الله كما قال عيسى ابن مريم من أنصاري إلى الله قال الحواريون نحن أنصار الله فآمنت طائفة من بني إسرائيل وكفرت طائفة فأيدنا الذين آمنوا على عدوهم فأصبحوا ظاهرين آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. For the hearts of Al-Hujjat ibn Hassan Al-Askari أرواحنا له الفداء, to be pleased with every single one of us with the loudest of your voices. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizers and moreover the reciters. Your beautiful voices really took me to Karbala and reminded me of Arba'in. So for the increased tawfiqat of all those who facilitated this blessed majlis, as well as the reciters with the loudest of your voices, صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the noble Quran in Surah Al-Saf, this blessed verse that I had the tawfiq to recite, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. O you who believe, be helpers of Allah, be helpers of Allah. Just as Isa ibn Maryam said to his disciples, who will help me towards Allah? The disciples said, we are the helpers of Allah. So one group of the Bani Israel, they believed, and another disbelieved. So we, who is we? The royal we of divinity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We helped those who believed against their enemies. So it was they who became the victorious. You see, brothers and sisters, I'm sure all of you used to watch the Olympics at some point. Maybe some of you still do. There's a tradition in the Olympics, isn't there? In which, in the opening ceremony, there is a torch and there is a kind of race. It's a relay. The first person carries a torch and runs a certain number of meters, a certain distance. Then they pass it to the second person who runs the second 200 meters or however many meters it is. Then the third, then the fourth, until the final person makes the torch reach the destination. Now, brothers and sisters, in this verse of Quran, Isa ibn Maryam is saying to his disciples, who will help me towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We'll come back to the torch example shortly. Who will help me towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Does Allah need help? Let's speak about this a little bit first. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the noble Quran states, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدوني, to worship me. I did not create jinn and mankind except for one reason, which is to worship me, to be in a state of servitude towards me, to practice my ubudiyyah. Now, this concept of servitude and slavery for us today in the modern world is somewhat alien, because slavery has been abolished before most of us were born, if not all of us. But when this verse was revealed, the concept of slavery was something very tangible for the people of that time, because much of the world was practicing slavery. The Arab world was practicing slavery. Later on in history, we know slavery was practiced in Europe, in America, and so on and so forth. Why does a human being need a slave? Someone has a lot of money in their pockets. They are wealthy, they can afford slaves. Okay, that person, why would they need a slave? They would require a slave because they have a lot of tasks to do, correct? And they find it difficult or impossible or impractical to do all of their tasks and meet all of their needs themselves. It's much easier to have some slaves do it for you, correct or no? So the essence of slavery comes back to what? Neediness. Because this human being is unable, incapable of fulfilling all of his needs himself, he would seek slaves to assist him to meet his needs. Incredible. This verse is saying that your relation with your Lord should be that of what? Slavery, of servitude. He is the Mawla, you are the Abd. He is the master, you are the servant, rather the slave. What does the next verse say? Because you see, a doubt may arise in someone's mind here, that when we used to have slaves, we human beings, when slavery was rampant, it was because of neediness on our part. So the next verse clarifies this. What does the next verse say? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مَا أُرِيدُ مِنْهِمْ مِنْ رِزْقٍ وَلَا أُرِيدُ أَن يُطْعِمُونَ. I don't want them to provide for me. Neither do I want them to feed me. إِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الرَّزَّاقُ ذُو الْقُوَّةِ الْمَتِينُ. It is Allah who is the provider. It is Allah who owns absolute might and power and authority. Meaning what? Meaning I'm telling you to be my slave, but know one thing, this slavery of yours will not benefit me in the least. I am the one who provides for you. I'm the one who feeds you, not the other way around. I don't need your slavery. So, oh Allah, why are you asking me to be your slave? Why? You don't need it. It makes no difference to me whether I serve you or don't serve you. So on one side we have Allah, on the other side we have us. Allah is saying this slavery will not benefit me, so who's left? Us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to practice His slavery, His servitude. Why? Because when you do that, a change will take place inside you. What is that change? Your heart, your soul, your essence will begin to change. Will begin to become more and more perfect, more godly, more divine, more heavenly. On account of that change, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invites us to be His slave. Because this slavery is good for us. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Let's come back to the verse we are speaking about. Man ansari ila Allah. Isa ibn Maryam is saying, who will help me towards Allah? His disciples said, Nahnu ansarullah. And Allah is, we are the helpers of Allah. And Allah in the beginning of the verse says, oh, you who believe, be helpers of Allah. Does Allah need help? The same explanation we mentioned regarding servitude and slavery can be applied here also. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need any help, but He is honoring us and telling us there is a title up for grabs. The title here is being a helper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If the Lord of the throne had not mentioned this ta'bir, this phrase Himself, no one would dare to mention someone can be a helper of Allah, but He mentioned it Himself. You can be one of my helpers, one of those who assist me. This is Him honoring us. How do we assist Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Maybe one explanation could be the following. Look, brothers and sisters, there are some objectives that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants realized on the face of this earth. And this is not something that only the Quran mentions. The scriptures, the previous scriptures have also mentioned this. Even the Holy Bible, if you refer to it, yes, the same Holy Bible that's present today, the corrupted version, which is not the same revelation given to Isa ibn Maryam, we know that. But this concept exists even today. In the Lord's Prayer, when Christians address God Almighty by saying, Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Meaning what? Meaning, oh Allah, let Your kingdom come upon this earth. Let Your will be done on this earth. And the same thing is present in the Noble Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has some objectives for the human race which He wants realized. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants no one to be worshipped on the face of this earth except Himself. Has that been realized? No, of course not. The deity of the modern world is not an idol of stone. Is not a statue. Rather, it is the mother of all idols, as some of our ulama have called it, and that is the idol of the lower self. أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Allah is saying, have you seen that person who took his lower self to be his ilah, the one he worships? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants the objective of Tawheed to be realized on the face of this earth. And in order to realize that objective, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent prophets one after another to bring this world, to bring humanity closer to realizing that objective. Here we come back to the example of the Olympic torch in the relay. Every prophet carried that torch a certain number of meters. Every prophet did his part in furthering this objective, in taking humanity one step closer to this objective. of shirk being eradicated from the face of this earth, both outward shirk and inward shirk, and for Tawheed to prevail. Until we come to the greatest Prophet of all, Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. After the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, this mission was continued by who? By the Imam alayhi salam. And this is one of the reasons why the earth can never remain without a divinely appointed Imam. One Imam after another came and continued this mission, each one of them taking this torch a little bit further. Amir al-Mu'mineen came, Imam Hassan Al-Askari came, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein came, Imam al-Sajjad alayhim as-salam, they all came one after another, each Imam taking this torch a little bit further in order to complete this task, this mission with which they have been assigned. And look at how quickly they would update themselves. The reason you see different ai using different approaches, one of them emphasizing dua, another one in battle, some of them spreading knowledge, some of them in other ways, is because they realize that as the times change, as the needs of people change, as humanity changes, the method has to be updated. And you know what the most incredible part of this is? They achieved that right under the nose of their enemies. To the extent that when we look at the two Imams who had the most freedom to preach and to teach and to guide, meaning Imam al-Baqir and Imam al-Sadiq alayhim as-salam, we find when you compare the number of the followers of Ahlul Bayt during the lives of these two Imams to the number of the followers of Ahlul Bayt during the life of Imam Al-Askari alayhi salam, you cannot compare the numbers. Yes, it's true. It's true that these two Imams had the most freedom. It's true that the later Imams, from the 8th Imam till the 11th Imam, including the Imam we commemorate tonight, they were the Imams who were least in contact with their followers. They were imprisoned, they were under house arrest, they were continuously harassed, they were separated from their followers, yet, amazingly, we find that during the lifetime of the later Imams, the followers of Ahlul Bayt are stronger and more numerous, several times more numerous than during the lifetime of the 5th and 6th Imams. How did they achieve this? How? Do you know what it's like? It's like if you have water, it's flowing. You put a barrier in front of the water, will it stop there? No. It will go right and find another way to continue its growth. The oppressors would come, they'd put a barrier in front of the Imam, no problem. He'll go to the right, find a different way to make sure this torch is passed on, to make sure that guidance is not severed, to make sure that the religion brought by their grandfather Rasulullah is preserved for the later generations to come. One Imam after another. One Imam after another. Do you know what the result of that was, brothers and sisters? The result of those about 250 years of the 12 blessed Imams after the Messenger of Allah, and their struggle and their efforts and their incredible ways of thinking and overcoming these obstacles, the result is that today, after the passing of 1,000 years, the biggest annual gathering of humanity is at the grave of Sayyid al-Shuhada al-Imam Hassan ibn Ali Ruhi al-Fida. This is the result of the brilliant planning and the working of the A'immah alayhim salam. Who could have imagined? Who could have imagined this? During the lifetime of the A'immah, when anyone can anyhow connect to the Ahlul Bayt was hunted down. How did they manage to do that? And it's the narration of Imam Al-Askari, Ruhi lahu al-Fida, where it's related, the Imam states, Alamatul Mu'min Khams. The sign of a mu'min, a believer, are 5. There are 5 signs of a believer. What's the first one? Salatul Ihda wal Khamseen. Performing 51 rak'ahs of prayer every single day. What's the second one? Ziyaratul Arba'een. The Imam is reiterating the importance of Ziyaratul Arba'een. Why? Because he knows that after myself, my son, the awaited one, our followers will not have access to him. Our followers need a place to meet on a yearly basis. What you saw during Arba'een this year, the architect of that was Imam Al-Askari alayhi salam. They were thinking until today, we need to get to know our A'immah better. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil faraj. You know what the Imam of every time resembles? The Imam of every time amongst mankind resembles the heart amongst the organs of the body. Isn't it the case that the Messenger of Allah is related, he said that this ummah is like a body. If one part of it is hurting, the other parts rush to aid that part which is in pain. A body needs a heart. The heart of this movement and of humanity in reality is the Imam of every time. Both the heart and the brain. Imagine the function of the heart and the function of the brain all in one place. Now if you sever the connection between your hand and the brain, or your hand and the heart, your hand may physically be on your body, but it is useless. Is that not so? Similarly, a person who's living their life, even if they're praying and fasting and doing Hajj, if their connection to their lifeline, to that heart, to that brain, to the Imam of the time is severed, what use is that? We spoke about the mission of the A'immah, right? Of moving mankind towards its perfection, which lies in establishing Tawheed. But it's not the Imam who's going to do this alone. What does the verse of Quran say? Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam is the Imam for his followers. But what does he say to his followers? كَمَا قَالَ عِيسَى ibn Maryam مَنْ أَنصَارِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. He's opening his hands and saying, who will help me in this mission? The Hawariyun, the disciples of Isa ibn Maryam said, نَحْنُ أَنصَارُ اللَّهِ. We are here for you. لَبَّيْك. We will help you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states that we made them victorious over their enemies. Such is the case with the Imam of every time, brothers and sisters. He is saying, Man ansari ila Allah. If it was the case that the Imam of the time was to use some kind of supernatural force, supernatural powers, to establish what Allah wants on the earth, that would have happened 1,000 years ago. No need to wait. He's giving us a chance to join him in this mission. When we come to these majalis, brothers and sisters, why do we come? Why are we here? There is one reason that you should come to these majalis, and that is to ask yourself the question and find the answer to this question. What is that question? Where am I in this mission? The Imam is saying, Man ansari ila Allah. Who will help me in this mission? And I answered him. You know, the heart is the lifeline of the body. But when we look at the body parts, we see that the hand has a function, The feet have different functions. The stomach has a function. The eye has a different function. The ear has a different function. Yet they're all connected to the brain and to the heart. So where am I? What is my function? What does He want from me? What am I going to do in this mission? Or God forbid, will I be from those who just watch? Like the Bani Israel, who they were told by Musa alayhi salam, that blessed one, Kalimullah, the one who spoke to Allah, your Lord is saying, enter into the city and fight those who are within, and you will be victorious. They said, Musa, what did they say? You go with your Lord. When you're done fighting, let us know and we'll come inside. God forbid, I start thinking that I am the master and He is my servant. Ayatollah Shaykh Muhammad Taqi Bahjat Rahmatullah alayh, that great spiritual teacher and scholar and marja, once mentioned the following, that there used to be a pious individual by the name of Shaykh Ibrahim. Shaykh Ibrahim once entered the blessed mosque that is Masjid al-Kufa. When he entered Masjid al-Kufa, he began performing the recommended acts of that masjid, and he saw that this masjid is filled with believers and mu'mineen. Each of them is coming, one is praying, one is reciting Quran, one is supplicating, one is doing dua. Shaykh Ibrahim was a man who was very pure. While he was supplicating, reciting dua or reciting dhikr or doing munajah, it so happened that he fell asleep. In his dream, he saw that he was in the presence of Imam Sahib al-Zaman alayhi salam. And it's related that Imam said to him the following. What vision is he seeing in his dream? He is seeing the place he is present in right now. He is seeing Masjid al-Kufa, where he is present and fallen asleep. And he's seeing the mu'mineen who are praying and reciting dua and so on and so forth. It's related that Imam said to him, Shaykh Ibrahim, do you see them? Do you see these people who have come to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to pray to Him? These are the best, right? Those who don't come to the masjid, they're not even thinking about Allah. These are the best of the best amongst humanity. Those who come to these places. One of them, what did the Imam say? It's related, he said the following. One of them, I'm paraphrasing, one of them has come for what? Asking us to grant him success in his exams. Another one has come asking us to give him a spouse. Another one has come asking us for that wish, for the healing of that sick person. And no one is here because of us. No one has come seeking us. They've only come asking us. Sometimes the Imam of the time just becomes a means for me to fulfill my wishes. O you who believe, be helpers of Allah. Just as Isa ibn Maryam said to his disciples, who will help me towards Allah? The disciples said, we are the helpers of Allah. So Allah made them victorious over their enemies. The same rule applies today. The door is open. Who will be part of this mission? Inshallah, every single one of us. You know what's incredible when we come to the life of Imam Al-Askari alayhi salam? The Imam was moved from where? He was born where? In Medina, right? The Imam was born in Medina. Imam Al-Hadi alayhi salam was the Imam of the time at the age of 6. Mutawakkil al-Abbasi, the Abbasi Caliph of that time, has Imam Al-Hadi alayhi salam moved from Medina to where? Samarra, with his household. Imam Al-Askari alayhi salam is 6 years old. He's moved to Samarra. What is Samarra? I don't know about Dubai. You know better than me. You have to tell me about that. But in my city, London, we have an area in central London, extremely expensive, where pretty much all the embassies and important government buildings are located in that area. This is one area inside a single city, okay? Now imagine someone was to build a city filled with embassies and government buildings and important banks and a military base, right? But much more beautiful than London. That area in London with the beauty of Dubai, okay? In one city, that city was Samarra. That city was Samarra. The Caliph of the time lived in Samarra himself. Why do you think he had the Imam moved from Medina to Samarra? Because he was terrified of him. And as the English saying goes, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Imam Al-Askari Ruhillahu al-Fida only lived 28 years in the face of this earth. 28 years old when he met Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on a night like this. Yet, what did the Imam do? How did he work? How did he manage this? Under the nose of the enemy. What did he manage to do? He worked in such a way that this same Samarra, brothers and sisters, forget about Medina, Samarra itself, the place filled with those loyal to the Caliph of that time, his army base. When the Imam reached and attained the stage of martyrdom, they say that the Souq, the bazaar of Samarra, was completely shut and closed. It was as if Qiyamah had descended upon this city. What did the Imam do? Someone who's continuously arrested, under house arrest, continuously harassed by the Caliph of that time, brought into his presence again and again, he worked in such a way that in the very capital of that same oppressive ruler, all Samarra is in Azab on a night like this. These are our A'imma, brothers and sisters. But where are we in this picture? What you should take away today should be the answer to this question. Where am I in this? Where am I today? I don't know the answer. You have to find that yourself. Sallallahu alaykum ya أهل بيت النبوات ومواضع الرسالة ومختلف الملائكة ومهبط الرواح ومعدن الرحمة. You are the centers of angels descending. You are the oceans of mercy never ending. You are the refuge of the hopeless and needy. You are the quenchers of thirst for the thirsty. You are the pure ones, blameless yet slaughtered. It is from this household existence is watered. It is from this household existence is what La ilaha illallah Ya Aba Muhammad. The day of judgment has arrived in Samaraya, but there is another place. The day of judgment also arrives in tonight, where in the heart of Sahib al-Zawaya, this is the night your Imam was orphaned. He's 5 years old. Ya Aba Salih, Ya Sahib al-Zaman, let me be from those who reduce your pain on a night like this. Ya Sayyidi, Ya Sahib al-Zaman, if your Salatul Layl tonight is beside the lonely grave of your father in Samarra, then أسألك الدعاء when you mention my name. Tell him the sinful one came tonight out of your love, oh Father. He made his tawbah tonight. But if you ask Sahib al-Zaman, Ya Sayyidi wa Ya Mawlai, who do you want us to cry over tonight? I'm sure that the Imam would answer with the same words of his father, Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Rida alayhi salam. When it's related, he said to the son of Shabib, Ya ibn Shabib, إن كنت باكيا لشيء فابكي للحسين فإنه قتل كما يقتل الكبش. Son of Shabib, if you want to cry over anything, then cry over Al-Husayn, for surely he was slaughtered in a manner that goats are slaughtered. There comes a moment on the day of Ashura. This is perhaps the most lonely moment for Abu Abdullah. When he looks to the right, no one remains to protect him. He looks to the left, no one remains. Behind him are the ladies of his household. He calls out, Hal min Nasri yansurni. Is there any helper to help me? Is there any defender to defend the household and the ladies of the Messenger of Allah? Hussein, Kaaba of my heart. Hussein tears my soul apart. Hussein, refuge of Zainab. Hussein, never far apart. Hussein, Kaaba of my heart. Let's join the angels in Bayn al-Haramayn before we beat our chests for our Master and give a salam to Sayyid al-Shuhada. Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala awlad al-Husayn wa ala ashab al-Husayn wa sallallahu ala al-bakina على الحسين.